but we're talking about this thing you went through, assuming everyone knows what that was. First of all, JBTV, long-running music television show here in Chicago, supporting independent music. Like a lot of people remember their first kiss, first romance. A lot of people remember their first experience with certain bands because of JBTV.
I got it. Yeah. You know, just to stop you for a second, I've had a couple of people say it. They only watch JBTV because the neighbors would watch it and they could turn it up nice and loud and they could have sex. So I actually think that a lot of people actually conceived a lot of beautiful children out there, all to some great music.
I'd like to believe that too. So JBTV's been around forever. You went through the trial of the century. You suffered through cancer. You beat cancer.
Which is crazy because Chadwick Boseman, you know, he's that Black Panther guy. You know,
horrible loss. 43 years old. We're still shocked by that.
The exact same cancer I have, colon cancer. I have stage 4. He only had stage 3 or something, and it just shows how early detection means so much. I didn't get early detection. I had a baseball-sized tumor, and a couple of Labor Days ago, which is now what, 2 or 3 years. I had a scheduled surgery that Monday of the Labor Day weekend. I'm going, you know, they're going to screw it up. So on Friday, I cancel it. Somehow I run into Dr. McGee, who's my surgeon at Northwestern Hospital. And he stopped me on the bicycle path. I was there with a lady friend walking. I never go out. We're finally walking somewhere. And he stops me and he goes, you really got to get this surgery. You know, I go, I'm going to put it off after summer. We got Lollapalooza. We got Riot Fest, like in October. He says, you don't have till October. So he literally gave me we scheduled a surgery for that Tuesday or Wednesday. And it didn't work. I mean, it was terrible. It was like, I was like in surgery for hours. He says, you were within, you know, minutes of dying. Cause you know, if a tumor bursts, like anything, you can, you know, it's no good. So
see, and I'm smiling and I'm laughing through this interview because that's the kind of relationship we have. And
me too. I love it.
But we're talking about serious stuff. So I don't want to minimize anything you went through, but I'm used to joking around with you, but this is unbelievably heavy stuff.
I was joking around. I mean, literally when they wheeled me into the surgery, you know, they got some of the best, you know, operating rooms. And it was so awesome. They had a 65-inch 4K TV. They got this robotic equipment. They got all these high-tech monitors. I was in good hands. And I'm a guy, quite honestly, that didn't take my health seriously for 60-some years. I didn't go to a doctor. I've been eating terrible food, drinking tons of Diet Coke. Although I still am drinking Diet Coke.
Yeah, that's a pretty big vice for me, too. I got to be careful.
But again, I was very positive through it. And when I went through 8 rounds of chemotherapy, I've gone through like 5 surgeries now. You have to stay positive through all this stuff because I think your mental attitude's more important than anything. And when I was in chemotherapy, you know, they got a thing called culinary care, which brings you food for if you're in chemo. So anybody out there that's going through chemotherapy, culinary care will deliver some food while you're at chemo. So it makes it a little easier. But, you know, everybody's sort of laying there like, oh, I'm so depressed. And everybody's like, and I was like, I'm going to stay upbeat as much as I can. And you have your ups and your downs and your really low periods and stuff. But you fight through it, you know, and that's been the biggest fight of my life. And I had a great hospital, a great team of doctors at Northwestern. I got like 8 or 10 doctors now. They seem to have a doctor for every inch of your body.
So take me back to the diagnosis. They told you that. Was it one of those moments where just all the air went out of the room? Was it like an out-of-body experience?
Well, you know, when they tell you you don't have much time to live, because this is a very, you know, colon cancer is a very terrible cancer to go through.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
I worked, and even when I got out of surgery against doctor's orders, I was already back at the studio doing shows, you know. It was really cool. I got to tell you, you know, when the Wombats came into town for Lollapalooza, that was 2018, I believe. The Wombats were there. I set up a show, and my surgeon, Dr. McGee, listened to the Wombats during my surgery, and I was so impressed that he's listening to that kind of music, you know. And he's like, he just loves literally. I'd like to do a TV show of just what surgeons and doctors' music playlists, because you know, when they're in surgery, I was in surgery for 8 or 10 hours or something. They listen to music and stuff, and that's cool.
So as they're going after your colon, you're still an influencer. You're still making stuff happen.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
So I get fast forward to today. How are you feeling?
I am feeling incredible. I just had some more final surgery because with stage 4 cancer, I had an ostomy bag for a while, which is the worst thing. I said, if I have to get that, let me die. I got it.
And you find a way to make it part of your life.
Yeah. And that's the worst thing in your life. When I went at the beginning, it's like, I can't do this, but you do it. And now it's gone. I got the reversal, but then they had a couple of surgeries and stuff after, you know. So I did my last surgery like this last month, and I'm feeling great. I got to tell you, I was expecting in January, we had all these plans for a great, like you did, and like all these bands and all the venues and all the stages that are shooting films and stuff. People were booked up most of the year already.
Sure, of course.
I mean, you were probably planning at the radio station, what are we doing for Riot Fest this year?
Oh yeah.
How about you guys got the picnic show? We got this going on and we got that. It was all exciting in January. 2020 was going to be the year that we're all going to have so much fun. We're going to rock. We're going to have everything going on. And look what happened. It all went to a dead end, you know. And then on top of it, my condo got water damage. The people upstairs, a couple of floors up or something, had a water thing happen with their washer and dryer. So then I have water damage on top of all this. So they throw things at you, but you know, if life was easy, you know.
And I guess after dealing with colon cancer and all the surgeries associated with that, everything else probably seems relatively like a walk in the park, because that was the fight of your life.
It literally, well, you look at everything differently. I don't look at the same things now like I used to, you know. I mean, up until this year, I was working 18, 20 hours a day for 35 years straight, you know. I mean, at one time when I first started out with Joe Kelly, we had a company called Super Spots. We did imaging for all the radio stations, about 300 radio stations, you know, like KLOS Los Angeles, you know, 610 KFRC San Francisco, Z100, you know, those kind of stations. You know, the Loop, we did stuff for them in the day. You know, so that's what we made money on. And JBTV was totally a hobby. And JBTV grew out of, I'd get these music video reels. So we'd use them in the TV commercial with Madonna. But on the same reel would be all these other artists. And that's how JBTV started. I'm going to play these videos because MTV ain't playing them, you know?
Right. That's so amazing. I'm going to sidetrack myself because now that you bring that up, I feel like the time is right, finally, for what you've been doing for years, what MTV used to do. I feel like the time is right for a 24-hour streaming video channel. Especially since bands can't tour, I feel like we're on the precipice of what could be a music video renaissance right now.
Well, isn't it already? Have you watched any of the TV shows? Everything's a music video in reality
right
now.
But it hasn't been channeled in that way.
Yeah. And they're really well done. I'm impressed with some of the quality these bands are coming up with, you know. But music never, ever stops, does it? No matter what you do. No, all the tours have stopped, but music is still getting out there on the internet. You know, like a Scott Lucas, is he still doing his broadcasts on the internet like he was?
He's doing less of them. Scott's one of the most clever, innovative guys I know, and
amazing.
He said, Scott Lucas of Local H. Yeah. He really set the tone for the creative community. We all were thrown off our game. Like, how do we move forward? I did a podcast in my car for 6 years.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that anymore as of mid-March. My choice was walk away from podcasting, whatever momentum I had, or find another way to do it. And, you know, here we are. You are in your condo right now. You're not at JBTV.
No. Well, the JBTV studio, we closed. We had to close it last year. It just got too expensive and everything. And I was working out, this year was the year we were going to be doing a lot of shows from the Metro.
Yeah.
And from all the different venues, you know, live on location stuff, you know, was what we were trying to do. And have some cool early matinee shows, you know, like just special private things, you know, private before the main show would be, you know.
I love that.
Whatever. So we were talking about doing all that kind of stuff and had a lot of plans going. And it's literally, we got all this stuff going. And it's like, oh, well, COVID hit, you know, and that stopped everything.
So here we are in the present day. I saw something my coworker, mutual friend Lauren O'Neill posted about your GoFundMe,
Yeah,
and I
Laura's
saw
amazing.
she is, and I looked at it. I'm like, Jesus Christ, is there anything else Jerry has to deal with? Like, what now? So you're facing eviction?
Yeah, that's the latest thing. It's excuse me. It's a condo thing, where there are all these rules and regulations and everything. So I got behind because of my cancer. I mean, I couldn't do it. I mean, for literally 3 years, I've been under, surgeries and stuff, and we've still been doing shows, which I was able to do all the way up until December. And then this year we were gonna do all the stuff. So anyhow, I got behind on everything, but it wasn't an issue because in January we had, like you have, you got that cool. What's the sponsor you have? You have some sponsor?
That'd be CNH Financial Services,
Yeah,
chfs.us for more information.
yeah. I mean, you have a sponsor that's picking up the cost of doing things, and it costs a lot of money to do things. And so I got behind, especially when I wasn't doing anything for my surgery. I mean, I was more into my health and into the music and doing the show. I
Yeah.
never missed a show, incidentally, even during all my surgeries.
Doesn't surprise me in the least.
So people can catch us now on Can TV 19 every Thursday night at 10:30. It's sort of like this. We're doing a show just like you are.
Right.
But,
You have to pivot. It's find a way to keep moving forward.
Yeah. So
look at it as an opportunity.
Yeah. So I got behind, and they've been threatening me and threatening me and threatening me. So sort of one of the things was, let's do a GoFundMe and see if we can raise some money. And I hate doing that because I hate asking people for money, because right now there are bartenders and people working in the food industry and all the different venues and all the people, the support staff in the venues and the venues themselves and all the artists out there that aren't on tour, because that's how they make their money,
Right.
is selling their stuff, going on tour. So this is something that everybody is having a problem with. It's not just me. This is a industry-wide thing, especially in our industry, in the music industry, but it spans all the different businesses. I walk around downtown Chicago, and there are restaurants and outdoor seating, but they're not like filled to capacity. There's
Right.
2 tables. I don't know how people are going to get through this whole thing without the government coming in or someone helping all of us. That's how the whole thing started with the GoFundMe thing, because I don't really like asking people for money. I think,
Well, no, it takes courage and a little bit of humility. It's not easy. Although
I also don't like the fact that I look at how much money these political campaigns are raising. I mean, it's obscene what these candidates are raising to do their campaigning or whatever. You would think they would be able to put some free TV PSAs on or something, instead of all this other stuff. I mean, they raise millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. And it seems like the common, ordinary people in the world just are getting left out on every day, more and more stuff, And now I wasn't eligible for the unemployment or anything because I'm self-employed, the people, they didn't even get their checks. They were all cut off. What people were getting like $600 extra or something.
Right.
And then they had the payment checks with Donald Trump's name on it, didn't get that. But the point is, people need that. And so it's not just me. I think it's a lot of people out there that are in the same situation I am,
And maybe you should just run for office, or say you're running for office. Maybe that would help.
I couldn't do that.
I'm Jerry Bryant, and I approve this message.
I'm Jerry Bryant. I love smoking pot. I don't think they would like that, would they? And I got to tell you, for those of you out there that are going through cancer or any kind of stuff, medical marijuana, medical cannabis has really been a good savior for me. It's helped me through the whole thing, the nausea with chemotherapy.
Sure.
That you go through. It is a lifesaver. So cannabis is, I got to say, it's a healing drug. I don't know if it's good for COVID, but although if we get that out there, I'd love to hear Donald Trump go, okay, everybody start smoking pot.
Well, listen, I'm all for it. We're in this period of collective trauma, and I want to get back to you, but mental health is a legit concern. And I was saying this last night when I had Ayatoya on. I want to be able to talk more about this and have this discussion more openly and frequently, because everyone has the shit they're going through right now. I mean, you basically said it. If you're not directly affected by unemployment or lost wages, someone close to you is. And it's, how do you cope? Hopefully you do so constructively and productively, but if weed is the answer and that takes the edge off, fucking great. This is hard stuff. No one has it easy right now. But to the point of helping you, no, you're not a politician, everyone's hurting, but you have given people free entertainment for decades, and you're a part of our lives. And I think it's okay that you ask for help.
Well, that's what.
And here we are.
Here we are, So that's what the GoFundMe thing. All we need is some rich I wonder, over all the years, 35 years, there's got to be, what is the absolute richest viewer I had over those years? I mean, I don't know, but there's got to be somebody out there that, is probably very, very wealthy, made tons of money on those. The stock market's booming.
So are you basically just looking for a sugar daddy? Is that what's going on here?
That's it. I need a sugar daddy. You ain't getting anything in return, but I don't know.
Access to the video library, the archives.
Yeah, incidentally, that's going. I did find an investor in last year that has now taken the video archive, which I had 5,000 or 6,000 tapes and maybe 1,500 concerts. I have maybe 50,000 music videos. So all those tapes are being shipped out to Los Angeles, where right now they're being digitized. And
thank God.
And that's
long overdue.
And so that's happening. But during that process, I can't do anything. I'm just sort of here. I mean, we can't make money or anything at it, because it's just cost, it was a fortune they spent on it. And then Christian White, who's my good friend in Los Angeles, he's working on a movie of JBTV.
No,
got sidelined too, because that was sort of going to go into production this year.
Like a fictionalized account or like a biopic.
Yeah. Where he wants to go and talk to all the different people, like talk to Moby or Henry Rollins or some of these people that are still around when they had their first experiences on JBTV. Because, a lot of these bands I had at the very beginning of their career on the show. And that's what's so exciting about what I've done over the years. I love working with the brand new bands, the brand new artists out there, because that's when they need the help the most. When they can become big. Remember BTS? Their first television appearance anywhere, right at JBTV. And literally the week later, they got a Billboard award, and boom, they're off, and they're everywhere now,
I agree. So you've been part of this. That's your thing. You help shepherd these new young bands, and you're beacon of light in this community.
It gets me so excited to
me too. I get it.
The music business, and that keeps me positive. I got to tell you, no matter how far down, you got to stay positive, and that means so much. And I got to say, I don't drink or anything, but that's a bad thing. When you start drinking and you're depressed, it really gets bad. That's why I like.
For sure.
Pot, because it's controllable versus when you drink, which I love drinking. I haven't drank now in quite a while, but back in the old days when you go by the House of Blues there or hang out, at the Smart Bar or something and get all screwed up, it's okay. But I don't like the part where you're sick and the hangover the next day. I want to be ready to rock and roll and just, be positive. So,
or the replaying of what you did the night before, like, oh my God, I can't believe that. Yeah, no good. So let's go back to the GoFundMe, because I think we're doing a terrible job of selling people on the need to help you. I mean,
if
you're great at selling music. I don't know if you're as good as selling people on the GoFundMe.
To me, there are so many people in the same situation I am in. I wish we could help everybody. Is my point.
Of course.
It's really and. The reason I got behind on my stuff is only because, my cancer, when they tell you, get your financial affairs in order, because you got stage 4 cancer, you don't have much time left. And here it is, 3 years after,
right.
I'm still rocking. So, I sort of it's all my fault. I let things go, I just sort of gave up on some things and just took care of the stuff because, I have no insurance and it costs a lot of money, and just the medications when you're taking chemotherapy and you go to the CVS or the Walgreens, it's just a fortune for these drugs, but I'm through all that now. So I'm ready to to go out there and, you know, I got a full studio here in my house, which I don't want to tear apart. That's one of the things too. You know, I want to stay operational, even though we've got another studio we can work out of, but you can't work out of any place now. You're out of your house. Isn't it like all the radio stations are out, everybody's out of their home now?
Yeah. I mean, I'm at a point now where there are 4 people in my home, all in opposite corners of the house on different Zoom calls.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy. We got 2 people conducting business and the other 2 people conducting or participating in education.
Uh-huh.
That's the new reality. I mean, I've got high school, college, and the workforce happening all under one roof right now. It's
Wow.
nuts.
You see, I'm in the ultimate bachelor pad. There's nobody here to bother me. I'm just like, the place has become a mess, and I'm gaining weight because I'm eating crappy food like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches at 4 in the morning. You know how that goes. You know,
Yes.
M&Ms. You know how any of the junk food after midnight tastes so much better than it does during the day.
You're talking to a guy, Jerry, who just had root beer and vanilla custard about 20 minutes before we jumped on the call. Culver's.
Really? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So I get what you're saying for sure. So if people want to help, where's the GoFundMe? Can we get to it from your website or from your socials?
I think you just go to the GoFundMe and type in, I think I put down JBTV host is about to be evicted or something. I literally, geez, yes, go there. No, it's on GoFundMe, and I guess I could send you.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what it says. Here's what I'm going to help. Can I help you with this?
You don't you know by now? And do I still have podcasts on your network there?
I think they kind of fizzled out, but
yeah, I sort of figured. But you know how hard it was for me just to post those podcasts when I had Chris Vicente, who incidentally, rest his soul, he passed away at 45 years old last year. He was another tragic thing that hit us. You know, he had a brain aneurysm, and he was my right-hand guy at JBTV. Yeah. Everybody probably knows him. He was there. He was with the blowhorn going, turn your phones off. Don't do, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing how someone that young, 45 years old,
it's crazy,
passes away like that. And I'm still around at 60. I'm turning 69. Can you believe that this year?
I really can't.
9 years old. I am like the oldest fart there is, but I can't relate to anybody who's in my age group anymore.
You can't relate to people 30 years younger. I'm going to read your GoFundMe because I want to help you raise funds, Jerry Bryant of JBTV.
Well, you see, James, that's why you are the professional, and I'm just a guy hanging out here having fun.
That's right. I'm that guy too. The headline is "Keep JBTV Host from Eviction." That's good. Headlines use the most interesting words. Eviction. That's a good one. I'm Jerry Bryant, host and founder of JBTV, a music TV show out of Chicago for over 35 years. Produced over 9,800 hour-long episodes nonstop featuring music from all over the world. Mm-hmm. Artists like the Smashing Pumpkins, Radiohead, BTS, The Joy Formidable, Jeff Buckley, and thousands more all have performed on JBTV. But COVID-19 hit and changed the JBTV show, forcing the closing of the JBTV studios. Now JBTV continues from my home TV studio, but building a full TV studio in a condo has taken its toll. Expenses have been nonstop. And COVID-19 stopped all tours, thus only Zoom interviews. Zoom interviews. Fuck that. With the lack of income, I desperately need to keep JBTV going, but that needs a home. My home is slated for an eviction, all from COVID-19 shutdown. If you have any amount to help my cause, please donate to keep the JBTV home alive. Won't you please help this man so he stays in his condo? That's it. I just want to help you get some money here, Jerry.
Well, thank you. I mean, again, you know, whatever comes in.
Here's the way I have
fun for, you know, all the donations I've received and all the support and all I like the comments. A few comments are on there like, I grew up watching your show since I was 14 and stuff like that. You know, I mean, it's so rewarding to know that I had something to do like you do when you're on the radio, you know, how it affects people, music does, you know. Mm-hmm. It's a very important thing for everybody.
I want you to be able to not overthink asking people for money. It's a weird time for everybody, but I think everyone gives what they can if they want to. And I'm in a situation, God, when all this broke, every restaurant had a GoFundMe, every bar, every venue, every band, everyone I ever knew. And you give what you can to as many as you can. And I haven't given great amounts of money to anybody because I haven't had it, but I've given what I could across the board. And I think that's all you can ask for is people, if you could spare a couple bucks, we get it. No one's, super wealthy here. We're just, if you can help and want to, go for it. Megs, sorry, on the Facebook Live just wrote, JBTV was a staple at high school sleepovers.
Wow. High school sleepovers? Ooh.
Stop it. Eric says, love you guys. He's referring to everyone at JBTV. Michael says, rock on, Jerry. Dan says, I love JBTV. Great to see this. Thank you. Blue hearts, prayer hands. So, yeah, you have your fans and followers. So let's fast forward. Let's say you make your $20,000 goal, or you make enough that you can keep moving forward. What's your plan for JBTV?
Well, I want to get JBTV on like a, like maybe a WGN or a Fox 32 or a CW26, on a bigger TV set. Because right now I'm on public access temporarily. But I want to restructure the show, and I want to do more live shows again. I want to go out and have artists on the show. I want to have bands perform. And we have a couple of locations already planned that can be socially distanced. But again, we got to find a sponsor. So what I'd really want to get is if there's any sponsors out there, like the big corporations, they got to have a few dollars laying around. Aren't they all? I heard that Amazon said it could go bankrupt. How's that possible? I mean, everywhere I go, all I see are Amazon, everything,
Their trucks are up and down my street all the time. And
yeah, all we need is a little truck like that with a bunch of the equipment inside, and then we could go places and do TV shows and, but no, I want to get the show on a bigger station again. And because, for a while we were on WJYS, I felt like on that station, the management, everybody there is great because we were on there for years, but they're a religious station. I felt like, the devil show's on,
uh-huh.
Because they had all praise Jesus, all the rest of the time. And, but what can I tell you? Yeah, I'm a spiritual guy. I was going to be a priest. That's a little history you guys never knew, from growing up.
Really?
Yeah. Nomine Patri, Filii, Spiritus Sancti. There you go.
you took a sharp turn in the other direction.
Praise Jesus.
Although, I mean, you do, I mean, you have your pulpit, you have your,
Nah, it was all a double standard in church. That's why I got out of it. To me, you got to do things like JBTV has been very pure all these years. It's all been about the music and the artists. It's hard for me, even with sponsors. I support sponsors. For years, we had a thing with, a company called MacMall where we gave away iPads, Apple iPads. Remember when Sony had those little mini disc things?
Oh, yeah.
We gave those away. So we were involved with sponsorships many times with many different places over the years, And that's how JBTV always did things. But it was cool because we would give away stuff, to people. When they came into the studio, they would get something.
Oh, yeah.
A little gift bag of something or whatever, sometimes they were liquor sponsors, and I go, damn, I don't think. Can we get Coke? I mean, Coca-Cola, not Coke.
Right. No, that's, yeah. So JBTV, hopefully you can land that sponsorship and kind of blow it back up to where it should be.
Well, I'm confident we can, because people neglect a lot of good music out there. And a lot of times it takes a little television show like JBTV to expose these artists, And what's cool is over the years, I'll have someone say, I hate the Smashing Pumpkins, one of the biggest bands around. When I first put them on, Billy sounds this, I hate this band, whatever. And all of a sudden, look where they go. It's the same, you know how that is, where people make, they think that, that's a terrible band or a terrible song. And, but it takes airplay, it takes getting noticed. And a lot of times just to have those first television experiences with artists, it's rewarding, I mean, when Radiohead came to town, they were, we did the first performance at the Metro there, It was legendary. Jeff Buckley, another one that was amazing. And Jeff Buckley at the time, nobody really cared about him. He had his fan group. I mean, he had it.
Oh, I agree. His star rose posthumously.
And and I remember the record people, because he did the concert at the Metro, the final concert. And they kept telling him, you got to rock and roll. And he goes, I do my music from my heart, not what you want me to do. But he did kick out the jams in the middle of that show, and then he did he didn't do a stage dive, but another band member did. And I thought, that's just so cool, that, hey, I can rock and roll just as good as anybody can, but I'm doing the music that comes from my heart, not what you want.
And that is so emblematic of that time. 1993, 1994, as Pearl Jam, Nirvana, the Pumpkins, Stone Temple Pilots are happening. Yes. Yeah, you got to rock a little more. Come on, you're on a Sony label. We got to make our money back on this. Kick it up a little bit.
Well, look at Radiohead. Everybody thought, they got to sound the same. And I remember when he first came to town, he was talking about how Creep. He doesn't want to do that song. We're going like, well, you really got to do Creep. It's like your hit. He goes, well, I'm going to do it with the original, where it's so fucking special is where they say, and I'm so fucking, that one, instead of, it's very special.
Yeah.
But he did it that way. And then the second time he came in, when we shot Radiohead at the Metro, we said, you got to do the song. We get requests for it all the time. I'm like, he goes, oh, fuck. And he took the mic out, and let the audience go, and I'm a creep.
See, and everything you just described is something I hate that artists do. Respectfully, regarding Radiohead, you have to assume that everyone, as a band, everyone who's at your show, of everyone who's there, there's someone there who's seeing you for the first time. And that person who's seeing you for the first time may be there because of that big hit. And that's their gateway drug. And that whole being too cool or disinterested in playing the thing that made a bond between that member of the audience and you in the first place, I don't like that. That's a big turnoff.
That was a hard song for him because his father was a drunk, evidently, and that song had a lot of other issues around it, so I can understand from an artist standpoint how they do it. But I also realize that I want to hear the same thing when I heard the Smashing Pumpkins Siamese Dream when they first did the record release party we taped at the Metro. Just how the excitement was, when he's doing his, today. I mean, just the way the song and the speed of it. And now when you hear it, it's a little faster. It's a little this. Even when you hear the album version, there was something about that first show that he did when he debuted that album. Were you there for those? There was 3 nights at the Metro. They were just so special. And we shot the second night is the one that we did. It was the industry night was Friday. Then Saturday was the regular crowd, but just hearing those songs loud and in a concert, with all your friends around and everything, it's such a great experience. And people are missing those experiences right now because people just don't, this COVID-19 thing has just destroyed the music business overnight. And it destroyed, a lot of experiences. Just think of all the people that aren't hooking up right now at clubs.
It's true. But it goes back to something we were talking about earlier. And it's something I've talked about a lot on this podcast over the past 6 months. Artists need to innovate around this. It sucks. And it's totally appropriate to mourn the loss of what was and what may not be again for a while. How do you work your way through this? How do you work around? And it's not easy, but some bands, you mentioned Scott Lucas of Local H, some bands are figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. And he did some shows at a drive-in, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and that's interesting because drive-ins lost all. I remember at the beginning of this COVID thing, I was talking to Christian in L.A. on our little TV thing that we were doing, and we were saying, hey, drive-ins are going to come back now because nobody went to drive-ins, but now they're, quote, hot again, and it's the only place people can make out, I guess, like the old days.
To me, the drive-in's always been this quintessential American experience.
Yes.
It's great. You can pack up the family and forget making out. You can bring the kids a cooler, one of those folding chairs you get from Dick's Sporting Goods, play Frisbee, play catch before the movie, chill outside under the moon. I mean, I've always enjoyed the drive-in, and I lamented their disappearance everywhere. There was the one in West Chicago that went away. There was one in Kenosha, and the only one standing for a while was the one in McHenry. But yeah, now there's a legit need for them. And I'm excited that they're coming back. And the concert experience, Local H started by doing those 2 shows downstate. I went to the first of those 2. It was cool. It was one of those old school drive-ins that has 2 screens on either side of the drive-in. They had like their video program, like all the cool video stuff they kind of put together. on one screen, the performance was on the other screen. It was awesome.
Wow. Yeah, it's again, we're all going to get through this, and everybody, and a lot. I got to say, these artists right now are probably writing some of the best music in their careers that we haven't heard yet. I think out of this is going to come a baby boom.
Oh yeah.
For those who are still, in couple relationships and not living alone. And I believe a lot of good music is going to come out of this, stuff that's just going to blow people's mind, and the creativity of this, the stuff that's been going on with all the different artists, with how they're trying to do their music, and again, like you were saying earlier, it's all about, I think the music videos are back. I really do. And I'd love to do a music video channel, but the problem is when you put stuff up on YouTube, I don't know if you've had this problem, it gets taken down. They'll mute
Copyright.
it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't understand why there's that kind of censorship. And now music videos, I don't know how to play those. I've got 50,000 of the best music videos anywhere. And I got 50,000 videos of stuff that no one's seen except for our viewers over the years. Those special one-hit wonder artists, or the artists that are just in the cracks and then they gave up and went on to do something else. Those are the bands that I still like to do a feature on. Uh-oh. What's going on here? Sure.
You're talking about one-hit wonder bands that no one has heard of or remembers.
Mm-hmm.
You ever heard of this band, Vigil?
Vigil. It sounds sort of familiar. No, did they ever do a music video, or?
Maybe they did. They basically fell off the face of the earth. I tracked down the bass guitarist on Facebook because I want to talk to him about this band. Saw them open up for the Stranglers in '87 at Metro, and bought the record. And then I forgot about them. I got a bug to rediscover them about a year ago. Couldn't find them on digital. Like, they don't exist on any streaming service. Had to buy the vinyl. There are so many bands like this, to your point, and this was just top of mind, so I dragged that out. So many bands that they had their moment and then they just disappeared, and they're all in the JB. It's like, remember that X-Files scene where I forgot what it was, but it's like this endless vault of hidden government secrets. It just goes on forever. That's how I envision the JBTV vault of music, like all these hidden things from the past that are they're all filed away.
Yeah. And they're every day they get a little more less, worth. I mean, they deteriorate a little because they're on videotape, and that's why we're trying to get them, but that's a lot of money. It's going to cost a lot of money to do that. Luckily, I don't have the money. I have an investor that's doing that, but that's going to be fun to go through all that at some point and see all the stuff again,
God, I have all my old.
But the point is, you showed that cool album right there. For those of you listening on the podcast, it's a beautifully designed album cover. A lot of work went into that. They pressed that album. They had to record that album. A lot of creativity went into it. That was someone's dream, that this is how we're going to make our big break or whatever. And their dreams are now there, but their music lives on, and music never dies. And I really feel that there's a lot of bands that even though, that's why if you're a musician out there, times are tough. Do not give up. Never, no matter what it is, never, ever, 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 ever give up on your dream. Stick to it no matter what. No matter what they throw at you. With me, they throw a cancer at me. They throw evictions. They do this. You just move ahead and keep on going. And if you give up, it's so easy to give up, because then for the rest of your life, if I only did this, if I only would have done that. I've heard so much of that from old people that I hang around with. If I only would have taken that deal or whatever. Wow. I don't know if you heard that. There's a motorcycle outside. Have you noticed the motorcycles are so noisy in the city here?
I was just having that conversation. It seems like every broken muffler, loud engine vehicle known to man has driven past my window in the past 2 weeks. They're all just driving around right now. They nowhere to go. They're just circles.
Have you experimented, like walked around the city and seen how things are changing, or how businesses are trying to come back? Or
no, I hate to say it, I haven't been out. I mean, I'll go out and get my groceries. I'll do carry out from local restaurants, but I don't spend much time anywhere. I mean,
I go to Jewel and to the hospital every week. I have to still got blood tests and stuff, but it just seems like a lot has changed in these poor businesses. I look at Although I think the protests and stuff, I'm all for those. I have no problem with that. But there seemed to have been a group of people, especially which came in and did some destruction. They're very, very targeted, very organized, and how they hit certain things. I thought that was strange because it was like someone was trying. It's like Wag the Dog. Remember that film?
Of course.
Like that's what these people are doing to these peaceful protests, when they come in and do that. But that's off the subject. But I just thought, I look at all the property, anything can be fixed. But there's like this little store over here with the guy's 80 years old. He was on all the different TV stations, little convenience store, and it's just. That's their life's dream, and it got destroyed, and now they're building it back up like we all are. So anyhow,
yeah, this is hard. This is hard for everybody. And if you want to help Jerry Bryant, help keep him moving forward. The dude beat cancer. Help the dude out. GoFundMe, search for Jerry Bryant or JBTV. You will find it. No problem there.
There's got one rich person out there. Just one.
The sugar daddy without the sex is what Jerry's looking for.
Yeah, but at my age, who cares?
And I've got to think that there are people with a thing for that. Like I would like a 70-year-old bearded, almost 70, bearded music dude. I mean, there's probably a market for that.
I don't know. It's strange. So are you still doing your Sunday night show and stuff at the radio station?
I'm so glad you asked. Look at that. He's turning it around into an interview. Demo 312 is 10 o'clock every Sunday night on 101 WKQX, a full hour of independent Chicago music. And yeah, I'm doing it from right here. The audio sounds suspiciously like this podcast.
Really? Hey, what's the big band right now locally? What's
I'm not answering that.
Just give us one that people could check out, because one that I could check out.
Don't put me on the spot. I don't like. Whenever I get asked to do that, I feel like I'm ignoring a lot of other bands.
Asks me the same thing, and I do the same answer because it's like they're your kids, isn't it? It's like I mean, there's so many great bands. How do you say which is which? Which is
it feels dismissive to just give a couple. Then the second I'm done, I'm like, that was a dick move.
I'm the same way. I'm sorry. I apologize, James, for that question.
I'll answer it in the political promotional sort of way. If you want to hear some exciting new bands from Chicago, Sunday nights, 10 o'clock.
Tune in this Sunday night where the music is always number one on 101 WQX.
That's exactly what I would have said, where the music is always number one. That's my shtick. All right. I want to thank everybody who's been watching, contributing.
We have viewers, really? We had viewers?
Oh, yeah. Rob says, well said, Jerry. Bob says, beautiful words, Jerry. You are beautiful words. You are, you're quite the speaker.
Wow. Well, I used to do radio too back in the day, but
Jimbo James says, hopefully COVID is a blessing in disguise for music artists. Lockdown, write new music.
Will be. Yeah. See, you got really smart, intelligent viewers on this. This is awesome.
Oh, dude, I could go on and on. I'm trying to wrap this up, but
sorry.
No, that's good. But
you're talking to Jerry Bryant. I can talk for hours.
But that is the beauty. I really... I have done radio for a long time, and this is the beauty of a podcast / video thing, whatever this is that kind of ground floor relationship you have with the audience, and just the ability to communicate at this level, which radio is awesome, but you are just broadcasting through an antenna, and sometimes you don't get to have that call and response. And this is a really lovely aspect of what I do with Car Con Carne.
Yeah. Although I'm sorry, I never got to your car, the one I was supposed to do with you in a car.
Well, there's always 2021. You're going to be healthy. The world's going to be better. And we'll have this all figured out, and we'll go for something relatively healthy.
Awesome. It's been a pleasure, James. You are just amazing. And the radio station, and you got a sponsor. What is it? CNH Financial or whatever it is?
CNH Financial Services. Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So now I'd let you right into the close of your commercial. Isn't that cool? The
best
services anywhere, and the best host right there, James. So anyhow,
look at that.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure being on your podcast.
All right, and I just stopped the social media feed. Thank you. I appreciate. I hope this helps.
I hope it does too. We'll see what happens. Whatever. I'm just happy to be alive and doing what I do, and I'm still here. It's not like I'm out on the street yet, and so.
How long do we have to help you?
Well, I think the city sort of stopped stuff, didn't they, for evictions again?
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the thing. It was supposed to end, and that's why this sort of came up the way it did, just to protect me, But now it looks like it's extended for another couple months, so I have time to get some more money together.
Thank God.
Yeah. Hey, I'm not giving up. I got to get a job somewhere, though, somewhere in addition to my JBTV fun stuff. But, I can't work for anybody. I just love this.
No way. No way. All right. I'm going to turn this into a podcast. I hope to stay in touch. I wish you luck and success and all that good stuff that you deserve. And stay healthy and well. I'm glad you're alive and all that.
I am doing good, and I'm glad you're doing good. And I really miss that we're not going to be at Riot Fest this year.
Nothing but payoff next year.
But last year was, I got to say again, it was just the most beautiful. We had the best weather for all the days.
Oh, my son came out for it. It was really he got to meet Rise Against. There were so many memories there for me. It was wonderful.
Yeah, it's just a great event that, again, I can't wait. I hope 2021 will, I can't believe 2021 it's like, geez, it's getting, I still remember 1968.
Exactly. All right. Stay healthy. Be well. I will talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye-bye. Say hi. Keep on rocking.
Bye.